It's time for another ring.
The Sixers are probably going to win the Eastern Conference.
LeBron get to just coast to at least the Eastern Conference final.
From the tunnel to the court, to the buzzer and the whistle. Big plays, big swings, every shot, every dribble. First down, slam dunk, we track the whole scramble. Late game pressure, you know the whole handle. Stats in the notebook, heat in the discussion. When the crowd get loud, we cut through the rushing. On your mark, let it go. This is where the big moments show. Back and forth, run it back. GameBreak Sports, we on the track. GameBreak Sports.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the GameBreak Sports Podcast, where every play has a story, and that story starts here. My name is Luke. I'm joined here by Shep. How you doing today, Shep?
I'm doing well, man. It's Friday. It's a great day in sports, so I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. It is definitely a great day in sports. It is also Friday. We got the weekend off. Time to just kick back, keep up with the sports and everything. I guess we're watching baseball. I guess that's what's going on right now. Nothing much. Absolutely. But I guess it is a huge day in sports. So let's hop right into it. Obviously, your favorite player, LeBron James. Where's he at?
The Philadelphia 76ers. Dang, it's hard for me to even say that right now. It's so crazy. It's so wild. But hey, I'm happy.
It's crazy to think about it. Honestly, as a Pacers fan, I was hoping that he wouldn't be in the East this year, but it is what it is for sure.
He's back to his old stomping grounds. You remember when he ran the East for 10 straight years?
I guess, yeah, something like that. Something about him beating the Pacers in a couple different playoff series. I don't know.
Right. Not too long ago.
Exactly. But yeah, so what's your initial reaction on that? What do you think's going to come out of this?
So I think as like a fan of LeBron, I wanted him to go to Golden State just because I wanted to see that Curry, LeBron, that right off into the sunset type of year. But with him joining the 76ers, we know what time it is, baby. It's time for another ring. All right. So my initial reactions is this is the best lineup ever. Best starting five ever. Need I say more? We got an all NBA point guard now and an up and coming shooting guard, VJ Edgecombe, LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, all NBA player as well. LeBron James goes without saying. Joel Embiid is a former MVP. Like, this lineup is going to be unstoppable offensively. I do have some worries just about chemistry with it only being one ball, how that's going to be distributed between the teammates, because all of these guys are used to getting 15 plus shots, and that's not realistic in a real basketball game. So somebody's going to have to take a back seat, but that's a good problem to have. If we got four other guys that can close out a basketball game on one squad, hey, you tell me. I'm sure every other team about that situation. So I'm happy, man. LeBron get to just coast to at least the Eastern Conference final.
Oh, at least. Okay, I got you. Well, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later if they're making it that far. But no, I'm sure that that's the most people's reaction probably right now, right? That this may be the greatest starting five lineup that has ever been built. I mean, with the team just getting Jaylen Brown, who's arguably a top 10 player in the NBA. In my opinion, he is a top 10 player in the NBA. You got a player like Tyrese Maxey, who's really coming into his own. He honestly isn't far off from Jaylen Brown, if we're being honest, as far as a scoring threat. Embiid is definitely, I mean, he's been considered a top 3 player in the NBA when he's healthy for a long time. I don't necessarily think he's at that level now, but if he can stay healthy, either way, he's still a threat. And then obviously VJ Edgecombe last year. Just absolutely incredible. So yeah, I would say that this is definitely going to be a good lineup. I think it's good for LeBron. Obviously, he wants a ring. You don't take a 2-year deal for $8 million if you're not just trying to get a ring. So, yeah, I think they're definitely going to be running the East this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to have problems with, like I said, the chemistry building, figuring out the pecking order as far as who's getting the last shot. But once they figure that out, I think they'll be good to go. If I had to put some initial thoughts on it, I would say like Jaylen Brown would be probably the number one option, just because he's the youngest, and I think they brought him there to be the number one option. If I'm being honest, I think they're done. They're past the Joel Embiid stage of him being number one. I think at this point he'd be like a complimentary piece, a very good one, but I think his days of being a number one are limited. So
100%.
Jaylen Brown's going to come there, make an impact, be the closer, and then you got, like I said, three other guys that are capable of doing it. So
So
if
where do you see
something's going
LeBron
wrong,
on the totem pole there? Like, where do you think he is? Like, I think we had this conversation before too, just about last shot, who's taking the last shot, who's next on the list. Where is LeBron in the hierarchy there?
at best, most nights, at best number two, but most nights number three.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be the fourth option any night just because of his game. His game requires him to have the ball a lot, so that's going to control a lot of the output as far as him being either a facilitator or a scorer. Um, I think when he gets there, I think he's obviously going to be the best facilitator on the team, even over Maxi. I think Maxi's more of like a scoring guard, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about Maxi too, is that he is definitely more of a scoring guard. He's not necessarily pass first. He wants the ball in his hand just as much as anybody else does, and that's because he's looking at the hoop for sure.
For sure.
That's the crazy thing for me too, is I think LeBron on on his best night, I still see as like a third option, like at the most, just because I do think that Maxi definitely earned his spot in Philly. He's a fan favorite in Philly. Everybody in Philly loves Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown coming off almost MVP season. Essentially, he was in the contention pretty much all the way through the year to be an MVP. Um, LeBron be that third option, and then honestly, even just when Joel Embiid is still playing and he's not injured, well, he may even be the third option. So I see LeBron even fluctuating between that third and fourth spot. But I think that can be amazing for him because the reason why he decided to go to Philly is because he wants to win a championship. So if he just has to be a key facilitator, averaging 15, 16 points a game, I think that's exactly what Philly might need in order to just skyrocket them past every Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I would say I don't I don't know how long Embiid's gonna play before, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
Yep.
That's the
100%.
biggest thing right now. Um, Everybody knows he's gonna get hurt. It's just a matter of when, because his knees are shot already. Let's be serious.
Yep.
So I think you'll be lucky to get 60 games out of Embiid. That's a great year for him.
That would be a
Um,
phenomenal year. That would be a
yeah,
godsend
so
of a year. 60 games? Are you
yeah,
kidding me? I feel
yeah.
like every time I'm looking down at my phone, he injured his knee in a different type of way. Every time, man. It's
Hey, but the
popping
good
up.
thing about it, they got Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's been pretty much healthy his whole career.
Exactly. Hey,
So,
knock on wood on that too, though. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
for real.
Knock on wood on that.
Can't have that.
No, yeah, I definitely think that. But yeah, so that is I do think that LeBron, I did want to bring this up. LeBron has averaged 20 points per game every single season in his career. He this past season he actually just averaged 20.9 points per game, which ties his lowest as his rookie season back in 03-04. I'm gonna come out right now and I'm gonna say that he's gonna average less than 20 points per game this year.
I can see that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they need him for a scorer anymore. They have plenty of scorers in Philly. I could see LeBron averaging 10 assists a game, though.
Yeah, I could too.
Um,
Absolutely. I could see him
so,
averaging a double double, no problem.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's going to be his role for the Sixers is more of a guy who is going to get the ball in a low post and make decisions from there. Can he still score? Great. He can still put the ball in the basket. That's not going to be his issue ever. But with that many scores around him, it's just going to make it easier. He's going to kill because you're going to have to double team LeBron in the paint. He's just too big for most people
Yeah.
in the NBA. So that's going to draw a defender. He's gonna have some guys around him that can make shots, that can facilitate, get to the rim. So I'm excited because LeBron's never played with a team this talented in his whole career. I know he's had a lot of super teams in his day, but he's never played with an MVP. I learned that today. Like he's never played with a big man MVP
Big
besides,
man MVP. Okay, I got you. I
yeah,
was gonna say, did
he's
Dwayne
played with
Wade?
Dwayne
Didn't
Wade.
Dwayne Wade? Yeah, Dwayne Wade got
Yeah,
an MVP. I'm pretty sure at some point.
yeah.
But no, I
So
see what you're saying. I still think that 2013 Heat team could have possibly been the best team that he's played for. I mean, looking at this roster, it's easy to just
absolutely,
jump to that. You know, it's easy
yeah.
to jump to like he's got all this talent around him now. It's gonna be great. But he did have some great teams in the past too.
In 2013, Dwayne Wade was already past his prime. Like we were still thinking Dwayne Wade is like the best years was probably when Shaq was there up until LeBron, maybe his first year. But if you remember, during that stint with LeBron James, he was injured a lot during that 4 year run.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Bosh was still awesome. Ray Allen hit a lot of great shots. And I'm not even denying they had a really good team. But as far as like talent versus talent, the Sixers have guys in their prime, in their young. He's never had that many young stars on his team.
That's true. But
So
LeBron back in 2013 too is something way different than
yeah.
LeBron now, though, too. So
he was worth like 2 stars.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm just happy, man, because I now got a reason to buy NBA League Pass.
There you go.
Because I'm gonna have to buy it to watch their games. So.
Join the club, man. Join the club. It's great out here. Being able to flip back and forth between every NBA game on. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh. All right. Well, I guess so. Obviously, they're going to be a great team this year. I believe that DraftKings has them as the top, the best odds to win the Eastern Conference as of now after the trade for LeBron.
Really?
I believe so. If any team is above them, I think it might have been the Knicks, but I do believe that they might have the best odds. So, what team could actually beat them in the Eastern Conference to make it to the NBA Finals, if any, this year?
That's tough. I think the Knicks have a chance. The Knicks are very deep. I was just having this conversation with somebody else actually, and like, do I think the Knicks can beat them in a playoff series? No, I don't think the Knicks can beat them, but I think they have a shot just because they have that chemistry. That goes. You can't like. I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Like building time with a team means a lot. Like in terms of like just knowing where guys are going to be at, knowing that this guy's going to help me regardless. Like the Sixers don't have that yet, so it's going to take some time to build trust on the back end, build trust and knowing where guys are going to be. And I think the Knicks can catch them. I think if they don't get it right by like February, March time, then that's where the Knicks can take advantage of something like that. So. Talent for talent, I don't think they can match up like player for player with the Sixers because they're too like star studded. But I think that chemistry could come into effect in like the playoff series. Other than that, though, in the East, I really don't think anybody can beat the Sixers. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, I just don't really see a team in the East that like good enough to compete. What are your thoughts on that, though?
I'm just going to say we've said this before with many teams, many super teams that have been built, and then they get taken down. I know it. I've seen it so many times. And one of the teams I had on that list was the Knicks. I do think they are the reigning NBA champs, obviously. So you get all that playoff experience with a team that's staying together, still keeping Coach Mike Brown, who is a great coach in the NBA. It's a great roster when it's healthy. They have great chemistry. It's a good matchup also for the 76ers because they can almost go star for star on that team. But there is one other team.
Are you being real right now?
I am. Who do you take? Who do you take over Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Maxey right now? Who do you take?
I would take Brunson slightly.
Okay. All right. Let's take OG Anunoby and let's take VJ Edgecombe. Who do you take?
That's not the matchup, and you know it. Quit trying to change that lineup up and make your own. Make this a better.
All right, yeah, okay. It's Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges and VJ Edgecombe. Who are you taking?
I'm taking VJ Edgecombe.
Okay. All right. OG Anunoby. Yeah, this would be
Jaylen Brown.
This would be OG Anunoby and Jaylen Brown. Who are you taking?
Jaylen Brown.
Okay, but OG Anunoby is also one of the best defensive players in the NBA, is he not?
He's not a bad player. He's a very good player, but he's not Jaylen Brown.
But again, he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. So that matchup on Jaylen Brown is going to be a tough one for Jaylen Brown. But that's the thing is they don't need OG to be able to perform offensively as much as they need some of their other players. as much as they would need a Jalen Brunson or a Cat to perform offensively. I mean, I will say that him performing so well in the finals is probably the reason why they won the finals. Absolutely.
For sure.
But I've always thought with OG that his defense is one of his strongest trait, if not his strongest trait.
Yeah. I mean, his defense is definitely great. He's going to have problems with Jaylen Brown, though.
Okay.
You know that. Okay. You know that. Yeah, you know.
I don't want to be out here defending the Knicks, Anthony. That's not what I want to do, Shep. My God.
All right. Hey, keep going with that lineup, though. You're not done. Go ahead and keep going with that.
Oh, man.
Not done. LeBron James and Cat. Okay.
Is it LeBron James and Cat?
That's a great matchup. That's a good matchup.
Isn't Cat playing the 5?
Who's there for? Who am I missing?
That's why I'm just missing. I'm missing it too.
Dang, we're bad.
I know.
I feel like it was Cat and Mitch. No, Cat started center. We're missing somebody. Oh, Josh Hart.
Okay, yeah.
Josh Hart. Yeah, we know that matchup. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
That's fair. And then
all right,
Cat and Joel is a wash at this point.
I'm not gonna say that the Sixers don't outmatch the Knicks based on player for player, but I do think that it's a good matchup in comparison to all the other Eastern Conference teams. And then when you talk about the depth of each team, you said it earlier, the Knicks are a deep team, and I do think that they're deeper than what the Sixers are. Sixers did just lose Andre Drummond, which I do think was a pretty good backup center for them. They did get Anthony Simons. He's going to be killer off the bench, absolutely. But they lost other key pieces like Kelly Oubre's not on the team anymore as well. So I just think that the depth may get to him. And speaking of depth, there's one other team
there we go.
There's one other team that I'm thinking of from the East.
Oh, gosh.
They made it to the NBA Finals in 2025. They had an off year, but that's only because the best passing point guard in the league was injured. I'm talking about the Indiana Pacers.
All right, let me let you get your rambling off.
Listen to the points here. They're a super fast-paced team. So for a team that's not deep, or not as deep, I should say, like the Philadelphia 76ers, they could get tired quick, which is the reason why I'm saying the Sixers are probably going to win the Eastern Conference in the regular season, but when it comes to a 7-game series, the Pacers can give anybody trouble. I mean, the Boston Celtics said it back in 2024 when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals against Indy, that was the toughest team they played, and they included the Mavericks in that conversation when they were talking about that. They swept the Pacers 4-0, but those games were the toughest that they played, essentially, and that's just because the Pacers outpace you. That's their entire game. They're running 24/7. They don't care if you just went on a 17-0 run. They're coming right back with the exact same mentality that they did before, and that's kind of their superpower. They're also possibly the deepest team in the East. We can go through their entire bench, and they could considerably be role player starters on other rosters anywhere in the NBA. So I also think is another good matchup. I mean, you've got a really, really great defensive center now that also is a great rebounder going against Embiid, so it could cause him problems. I'm not going to lie, Tyrese Halliburton's defense is a little bit of a liability. I'm not going to lie. But they'll get him matching up against like an Edgecombe probably, because Nembhard is always going to guard, like the Maxey, and then you got Aaron Nesmith on a Jaylen Brown, and then you can put Siakam on LeBron in order to have the size there. I do think that's a good matchup as well.
Yeah, I can respect that. I definitely like how you said the pace, because that's going to matter for sure. Because they got guys on their team that either have injuries, LeBron's older, so that'll play a factor in the series. I think what it's going to come down to, though, is that you just named guys that can match up on the Sixers guys defensively, which I think defensively they match up well. But when you flip it around and you say the Pacers guys got to go score on them, The Pacers don't have enough scores to score on the Sixers. They don't have enough scores on the Pacers to compete with the Sixers.
So here's the thing.
They can defend, but scoring is going to be an issue.
I know what you're saying there, absolutely. And that's easy to say after watching the Pacers from this past season because those guys on their own, Nemhard, Nesmith, Siakam, well, I'll leave Siakam out of it actually because he can create shots, but some of those guys, they can't score on their own. But when you reintroduce, again, the best passing point guard in the NBA, Tyrese Halliburton, back to that team who is just the engine, the absolute engine of the roster. Like, people, you don't know if he's going to go to the basket. You don't know where he's going to pass the ball, which is just a crazy superpower. You get people open, and when he starts scoring too, the rest of the team starts scoring. I think that's going to be the key. Is obviously it's going to depend on how he comes back. If he doesn't come back anything like he was, then they're probably going to be a 6 seed, maybe even like a 7 seed, like winning the play-in at best.
Right.
But if Tyrese comes back the way he was, I could definitely see them competing, and I could see them taking the Sixers to 6 or 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
6 or 7? No, that ain't happening. You'd be lucky to get that to 5. Hey,
he's gonna say
another thing,
Sixers and 4. No, that's not happening.
6 and 5.
No, hey, nobody is taking the Pacers to less than 6 or 7 games in the finals or in the playoffs. And I'll give you another reason why that's the case, because Rick Carlisle is the best adjustment maker in the NBA as well, as far as a head coach goes. He makes adjustments better than any other coach.
I can respect that, but as a coach, when you just don't got enough adjustments for this much firepower, then what do you do?
No, it's okay. They're gonna get tired.
At some
Firepower
point,
only goes so far when you run out of oil.
No, it's at some point, it's like, I can't do anything. They're just better than us. And that's what the Sixers are. They're just better than the Pacers.
And there's going to be games like that. But do I think it's going to be 4 straight games in a playoff series?
I got Sixers and 5.
Okay,
Sixers
do I think it's
5.
going to be 4 out of 5 games in a playoff series? No, I don't think that.
Another thing you didn't mention, which I think will have an effect, Miles Turner, I know he gets a lot of crap from Pacers fans, including yourself, about how he played, but he was a very important factor to that finals run. I think losing him and what he brought to that team will affect Tyrese Halliburton. The reason I say that is the big that they picked up, Zubac, he is not a fast-paced center. He's on the block, throw the ball to the block type of center and let him pull post score. So I think that will have an effect on their up and down game. Not saying like Halliburton's still going to get his assists, facilitate, but I think Zubac is going to slow that game down more. And then Miles Turner fit that type of game plan, that up and down game plan.
Absolutely. I'll 100% agree with you there. They are going to look different 100%. But what I think is going to actually benefit them in ways that a lot of people don't see is that people look at Miles Turner and they forget that Tyrese Halliburton made him look like he was worth $105 million for 5-year contract or whatever that deal was that he took with Milwaukee. He is not that good, though. That's the thing. He averaged this past year, he averaged 5 rebounds a game as a center. Like, that's crazy. In the NBA Finals that year, I believe he averaged 6 rebounds.
He always been bad rebounding.
And we would get, and you don't know how many times I would be screaming at the TV because we would be getting out rebounded every single game, and that's where a lot of those extra points came from too. So what we're lacking because Zubac is not as fast, I think we're gaining in a incredible defensive player and also rebounder, probably the best rebounder in the NBA. When he puts his mind to it. I mean, I remember a game. So it was like 3 or 4 years ago, but there was this dude playing against the Pacers. He was on the Clippers, and he scored 31 points and had 29 rebounds. And his name was Ivica Zubac, and I could not believe it.
He's good. He's very good.
Yeah, so I do think that that'll kind of offset it a little bit, but also I wouldn't underestimate how much they're going to get him in shape this year. I'm just saying that too, because he came out too and he said, like, this team expects some specific things from me and I'm going to have to work on my game a little bit for that to be the case. And I don't think they're going to have to slow down their game that much. It is going to change for sure, but I don't think they're going to have to slow it down that much just because Zubac's on the floor.
I can respect that. I can respect that. I like the Pacers. I think they have a good team. Do I think they're like a part of the elites? No. If I had to like name four teams that I think can win the championship this year, they're not part of the four. In fact, I could probably name six teams before I could get to their tier. Just because, like I told you earlier, Luke, I can name four 76ers players before I can get to a Pacers player that I'll take. I mean,
That's
four,
crazy.
almost five players
That's
that I
crazy.
would take
You're gonna
before
take
I would
four
take.
Sixers
I'm
overtaking
assuming
Tyrese
you're going to say
Halliburton.
Halliburton.
Yes, of course I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Halliburton. I don't
yeah.
think there was four
I would
Sixers
take
players on Team
LeBron.
USA the other year. even if Halliburton wasn't playing
What?
that much.
You know that was politics. Don't even lie.
What
You
is
know that was
politics about it?
politics.
He didn't even play,
Dude, Jaylen
but he
Brown
still got
should have been on
invited to
that
the
team.
team.
Jaylen Brown should have been on that
Oh
team.
yeah,
It was
Jaylen Brown wasn't on that team.
politics.
For a second, I thought he was, but it was Jason Tatum, and then there was Derek
It
White
was
and Drew
Tatum.
Holiday over him. That team, actually, if I recall correctly, that's crazy.
Like you would do that too. So Jaylen Brown or Halliburton. If it was a straight up trade, they're trading Halliburton. The Pacers will.
Dog, no.
Yes, they
The
will,
only
bro.
reason they're not doing that is because he's a fan favorite. It would be with a small market team like Indiana. You know how hard it is to get rid of a fan favorite player like that, especially someone who took us to the NBA Finals for the first time since Reggie Miller.
So why did y'all let Peyton Manning walk? Or why did you guys let Paul George walk? Oh,
Oh,
these
we didn't
guys
let
are
no no no
great.
no 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 no. We didn't let Paul George walk. We didn't let Paul George walk. Well, what actually happened was we were a small market team. We were supposed to go get Anthony Davis, and they didn't. Which I still don't necessarily regret that. They may have saw something that Paul George didn't necessarily. Paul George talks about all the time how he loved the Indiana Pacers organization. He wish he could have stayed there for his
Sure.
entire career. He talked about that. He talks about that on his podcast all the time. But
Sure.
Paul George straight up told us that he didn't think that we wanted to win, and he said that he was going to leave the next season if we didn't trade him. So we traded him, and we ended up getting Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis for him. And years down the road, who did we end up trading Sabonis for? Tyrese Halliburton. So everything happens for a reason. let's just talk about that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, but if I had to compare careers, I would take Paul George, Indiana Pacers over Tyrese Halliburton's Pacers
Whoa, why?
because they were more relevant. Like they were more relevant. I think they had a better team when Paul George was there. I think you could take them more serious.
Which
Like, if I'm being honest, I'm just gonna call it what it is. The Pacers' final run was a fluke. All right, Luke?
that's
That was a
crazy.
fluke. Like, they're never going back
You're
to
a
the finals for
casual.
another 20 for another 25 years. They would never see the Pacers in the finals.
You're just
This is just
another no,
they're just going to the finals. It's their one out of the 25 years.
You're
So what
another
is
one
the
of those people that just
2025?
didn't pay attention to Indy, and then it's like, oh yeah, that
2050.
whole run is just a fluke. No,
We'll see them
dude.
in 2050.
No, we'll see the Pacers in the finals sometime in the next 5 years, and I guarantee that. I
Wow.
guarantee it. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Halliburton won't even be there in 5 years.
That's hilarious. Halliburton's gonna retire a Pacer. And that's because he wants to, unless the system's broken. That's the whole thing that happened with Paul George. The system was broken, essentially, as soon as he said that, and then they needed to trade him. Same thing with Domantas Sabonis. They had to trade Domantas Sabonis because the system broke. Rick Carlisle got there. He tried to do something with that team, which was a great team, by the way, as well. They had Victor Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon, T.J. Warren, Domantas Sabonis. Just drafted Chris Duarte when he was actually playing pretty well as a rookie, but they just couldn't figure it out, which is fine. So they had to trade him in order to get in a system that worked, and the system with Tyrese Halliburton works. I've waited so long in my life dealing with point guards like, which respect to them, but George Hill, Darren Collison, they were fun. They were fun to watch sometimes. But I've wanted a pass first guy for so long, and Tyrese has answered my prayers.
I like Halliburton. He's a really good point guard, so I can't even hate. But the
So
Pacers, they need help. Bad.
that is why I would take him over probably at least one of those four that you're listing on the 76ers, because that's what ended up leading us to down this road anyway.
That's bad, man. That's bad. That's bad.
I'll take Jaylen Brown. this is so hard to say too. Over skill, because I'm not gonna let my personal feelings get involved. Skill wise, specifically, I'll say Jaylen Brown. I would take over Tyrese Halliburton right now, and
Yes.
maybe Maxey. But I'm not
And LeBron
taking I'm
James.
not taking LeBron because he's 42 years old and he doesn't have the skill set that he used to.
LeBron James right now can do. LeBron James right now can do what Halliburton does.
Halliburton led a team to the finals. LeBron James actually barely got out of the play-in without Luka.
LeBron James plays in the West.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna talk about this too because the Eastern Conference has won 3 of the last 4 NBA finals. So who's really that much better?
The East is top heavy. Like two
So
good teams in
so
the East.
so so how does that make them worse than the Western Conference though?
What I'm saying is that you have to go through a harder playoff series in the West than you would out in the East. You can easily get through the first 2 rounds in the East. That's what it is. You can't even sleep in the first round in the West. Just think about the first round in the West this year. It was who was it? The Lakers played the Rockets.
Yep.
That was a great series.
Hmm.
Who was the 2 seed? The Spurs. The Spurs played the I can't even think of who the 7 seed was at the time. I
I'm
can't
trying to
think
think
of it.
too. Yeah, I can't think of it.
But
You can keep talking and I can figure it out real quick.
I'm gonna just name all the teams: the Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Rockets. Um, who am I forgetting right now? The So that's 5 teams already. I know I'm blanking on some. The Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are great. Um, like the East, you don't just think
That
about it.
that
The
first
East
round
is
was against the
so
Trailblazers, which also were going to be a better team this year
the
after
East
they
is
finished
so
runner up.
bad that this is terrible. The East is so bad. Their number 1 seed is not even respected.
The
That's how
Pistons?
bad the East is.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
like
because
people
they were
aren't
a
even
good regular
mentioning
season
that.
team, but they're
I
not a
That's what I'm
playoff
trying to tell
team.
you. The East is that's what I'm trying to tell you. They won 60 games in the East. Like that's bad. How is that y'all best team coming out?
They didn't just play teams in the Eastern Conference. Maybe the
Yeah, but
majority of
most of
them.
their teams are in the East, is what I'm saying. Like
For
they
sure.
won 60 plus games. And
Yeah,
then they
with
got in the playoffs. Then they lose the first round or the second round.
first round. No, wait. It was the second round to the Cavs. Absolutely. But the Cavs are a team that see the Pistons did not have enough just playoff experience in general. And that's pretty much what the demise was for them. The Cavaliers had more playoff experience. I don't even want to talk about the Cavaliers because they completely let me down when they put the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I was really hoping that they would win. I like Donovan Mitchell a lot, but they played horrible. James Harden's a crazy liability there, and they need to get rid of their coach as well too.
I
But
guess we can move into that last topic you was talking about. So we're going to get into what we think is the top 3 teams in each conference today. So we're going to start with the Western Conference. Um, I think it's the best conference, so we're going to start there. All right. So my top 3 teams in the West, I think it's simple. I think it's the same 2 from last year: San Antonio and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know they didn't do a lot of additions, but I think even with the additions other teams made in the West, I still would take them as the top 2 teams. I really like to pick up for the Spurs with Tobias Harris to give them that veteran leadership, and I think he fits that role for them perfectly. Um, so honestly, I would take them as the first seed. The OKC Thunder is the second seed. My third team will be the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think with the addition of LaMelo Ball, that's going to take the ball out of AE hands, allow him to really flourish in that facilitator role. And then I think Jake McDaniels is going to take a huge step offensively this year now that Julius Randle is out and Nas Reed is out as well. He's kind of going to have to be forced to. So those are my top 3 teams out west. What's your thoughts on that?
All right, this is going to be really easy. This isn't going to be much of a debate because I got number one, I got the San Antonio Spurs. Number two, I got the OKC Thunder. Number three, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh,
So,
dang. Okay.
no,
So we did not discuss those.
yeah, we didn't at all actually, which is actually crazy. No, I completely agree with you on all fronts actually on this one. So I just
I
think
agree.
the Spurs, they have a really, really young core with possibly the best player in the NBA and Victor Wembanyama. Definitely the best defensive player in the NBA, but I think Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, like you said, Tobias Harris stepping into that four role as well is going to be absolutely incredible. So
Yes.
I definitely agree with that. The Thunder, I mean, I know that they lost a lot of pieces. So they've lost Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Kenrick Williams, and Aaron Wiggins already. That's going to hurt
Yes.
bad for
For
sure.
sure.
But they have made a couple moves too. They did just get Mara in the draft, which I do think is going to be a good center. So I do think that's going to relieve Isaiah Hartenstein a little bit and Chet Holmgren from having to be, the big guys that are playing too many minutes. But I still think that they might need to make a move because I just don't see them making it to the NBA Finals with this roster. But anytime you've got a starting three of SGA, J Dub, and Chet, it's kind of hard to take them out of that top three
For
for sure.
sure. Yeah.
And the Wolves, I agree with you 100% as well too. They got rid of Julius Randle. That was one of the biggest things that they could do because it's going to speed up their offense, which is really important in today's NBA. Is like we were talking about the Pacers earlier, just being fast paced. So they traded for LaMelo Ball. They're going to run a small lineup where it's going to have Ayo DeSumo probably running point guard, and then you've got LaMelo and Ant playing a smaller 2-3, I would say.
Yeah.
You get a Jaden Daniels. One of the biggest things I did put on here is just that I think that Rudy Gobert, he's a good center, but I think with the new type of offense that they're going to be running, they may need to go after a different center. One that I actually had in mind that they could trade for during the season in order to fit their offense a little bit better. It's going to be a major defensive setback, but I think that like maybe trading for Miles Turner might be a good move for them, just because he would fit their offense just a little bit better with that fast paced. He could become another shooter for them as well. But they are going to lose a lot of defense if they did something like that.
Yeah. For sure. And that's going to be key because Rudy Gobert is he's a very good cleanup guy. So I know a lot of people think Anthony Edwards is a really good defender, but I've noticed like a lot of his game is leading it to Rudy Gobert, who's a very good rim protector. So I think losing him would be a huge loss for them because I think Miles Turner could fit that team even at the four, because he's not going to do the dirty work that Rudy Gobert does.
That's an
Um,
interesting take too, because I don't think Miles Turner's played the four at all in his career. And now that
right,
we're in this NBA where I have seen a lot of teams do that, where you got like Anthony Davis who's a tall guy but he'd rather play the four,
exactly.
or you've got Chet Holmgren who's 7'1" and he's playing the four. I wonder how Miles could adjust to playing that four, especially because he likes to shoot the three. So I feel like that just makes sense.
Right. But yeah, other than that, I think we came to an agreement on all the other things. LaMelo Ball is just going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm definitely tuned in. So, outside of that, in the West, honorable mention, I like the Rockets. I think if they could get Fred VanVleet back to get their point guard situation situated, I think they're going to be back to being the top team because I think that's what they lacked last year as well. They didn't have a guy that could facilitate to get the sets going. I mean, then LeBron exploited that in the playoffs for sure. So, do you got any honorable
I
mention there?
Yeah, there's like a couple teams in there too, because like we talked about before, it's a dogfight of a Western Conference. I
Yeah.
think that Luca running the Lakers, they could be up there this year, especially with all the pieces that they added. They just got to figure out chemistry. The problem that I have with the Rockets, though, is just that I think that they're lacking a true leader. Kevin Durant has come out many times saying he doesn't want to be a leader. I don't know if they have a leader on that team, which I just don't think they're ever going to be able to be at the top of the Western Conference when that's the case.
Respect.
That's kind of my take on that.
Okay. Perfect. We're going to move out east now. I'm going to let you start. So I started on the west, and just name off the top three teams and maybe give a little reason why you chose those three.
Sounds good. Well, number one, actually, I'll start with number three. Number three, got the Indiana Pacers. I, Number 3, I do have the Indiana Pacers. I do think that their roster is pretty much the same, minus Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin from a few years ago, but they did add some key pieces of Vika Zubac. They did get Kelly Oubre just in the offseason as well. And they still have the chemistry and the playoff experience as well. So if this is all depending again on if Tyrese Halliburton comes back the way that he was. If so, he could definitely be at the 3. The Pacers could be at the third best in the East. Number 2, I've got the Knicks. Obviously, the reigning NBA champions. They're keeping the majority of their roster too. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson's a big loss for them too, even if he is a free throw liability. But I do think that they just have a great roster, chemistry. When you win an NBA Finals and you can keep the majority of your roster, usually you're gonna end up in the top 3 in your conference. That's pretty much a no-brainer there. And then number 1, gonna take the 76ers, obviously. This one again seems like a no-brainer. You gained LeBron, Jaylen Brown, and Anthony Simons, who is a sneaky pickup as well too for them. So I just think that they have the best starting lineup in the entire NBA, and that they're definitely going to win the East.
Yeah. So you got them at definitely winning the East. That changed a little energy change from earlier today when I saw
definitely winning the East in the regular season. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Okay. I just want to make sure you specified that, so I know nobody was confused. I was watching it. Okay,
that's fair. Yeah.
Okay. I can respect that because I think our top 2 teams are cemented. If I'm going to be honest, I think the Knicks and the Sixers are head and shoulders above the Nets team out east. I would say that third team. I want to talk about that because we're definitely going to differ. Because I don't even have the Pacers in my honorable mention.
That's crazy, but that's okay. I get it. Obviously, I'm a little biased. That's fine.
If I had to pick a third team out east, I would say the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to get Tatum. I think last year was he didn't need to come back last year. I think he did just to make sure he was ready for 2027 year. So he's going to be awesome once again. And then they picked up Paul George. I know Paul George isn't what he was, but he's still a very good scorer, a guy capable of getting 20 points a night. They were able to offload that contract with Jaylen Brown, so maybe they can make a trade or 2 here in the near future to try to secure up another big, because I think that's what they're lacking right now is a true center. Peyton Pritchard, he stepped into a role last year, which allowed him to get the number 2 seed. So I think he's going to continue to grow. I've had a hot take that I could consider him a max player here soon if he keeps playing this way.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he plays to the level of a guy like Austin Reeves, who just got a max contract.
Okay.
I hear. And I think he gets to that level.
Different. I mean, point guard versus small forward, but it's like you're saying at the level of his position.
Yeah,
I hear you.
He can get to that level to get a max. I love Peyton Pritchard. You want to talk about backup point guards? Like he's a backup point guard that I think could go anywhere and be a starter anywhere.
Okay. I'll respect it too. I do like Peyton Pritchard a lot too. His game is it's very clean. It's a very, very clean game.
And then Derek White, obviously, he had a bad year last year. I think he could turn it back around, become a deadly 3-point shooter. And then obviously he's a 3-and-D guy. He can lock up some of your best players. So another guy that slept on our roster is, I think his last name is Keita. He's a big.
Yeah.
That's one thing about the Celtics. They're going to be able to develop. So I don't worry about them having younger guys on their team because I know like whoever is in charge of their player development and recruiting, they know what they're doing in Boston because they build up guys and guys are good every single year that we've never even heard of. So that's going to be my top 3 teams. I like the Celtics at 3. I like the Knicks at number 2 for the same things you said, just, chemistry. They have the stars. They're deep. And like I said, they did it already. And then number 1, I got the Sixers. Because, go James over there. So if Go James wasn't there, I would flip it. But now that they got Go James, yeah, we're gonna put him at number 1. It's too much star power. So.
All right. I get that. I do. I have a little bit of a problem with Boston being up there for you. I do respect the fact that they're a winning culture and that they always, they turn their players into something special. But I do think that they're in a little bit of a rebuild situation, but it could be a quick rebuild. Did you mention Paul George on that roster too?
Paul George, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I must have missed that part too. But yeah, I think Derek White definitely had a little bit too much pressure put on him last year. He can't have that much workload put on him, in my opinion. And I think that they are going to take some of that off of him. So they definitely could end up being the third, especially because they got a great coach too. I love Joe Mazzulla. From his what's the word, trending clips on Twitter to his actual coaching style. He's just a great person and a great guy, in my opinion.
And Brad Stevens still in charge of it all out there, who is a great head coach.
Yeah, he's just a guy that knows basketball, loves the game of basketball too. So it's hard to count against somebody or a team like that. I just feel like it's time for the Celtics for a single season to take a step back. They got a couple first-round picks coming up soon. They're going to be back up there soon, but I just don't think that this year is going to be a year that they're in the top three.
Respect. I can respect that. I like the reason I say that, I just think their best players are better than a lot of teams' best players. Like Tatum is still an all NBA first team player. I don't see the Celtics settling for a bad year or even a mediocre year. Because if you're going to settle for that, why didn't you settle for that last year when Jason Tatum was hurt for 80% of the year?
Exactly.
You could have just sat back. I don't think they're going to allow the Celtics to just be bad.
I think they may have actually been thinking that possibly if Jaylen Brown didn't come out the way that he did last year with, I mean, he was putting up MVP numbers and nobody can say anything otherwise against that. And if he didn't do that and put them in a position where, I mean, what seed were they? They're the second?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the second seed in the Eastern Conference without Jason Tatum, who at the time was, again, the top 10 player in the NBA. So, yeah, I feel like that was probably the case with them, and that makes a lot of sense. So maybe they don't want to settle for a bad year. They want to, well, nobody wants to settle for a bad year, obviously, ever. I just feel like if there was a season for them to do it, this would be the year. But it's also going to depend on how Tatum comes back, because I don't think he came back the same Tatum that he was when he came back towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. But he's got an entire off season in order to work with the team again and everything, and he may come back next year just as good as he was, maybe even better. Who knows?
I think he has a target on his back this year because after seeing what Jaylen Brown did when he wasn't there, he's gonna have to perform because like they got rid of Jaylen Brown because of him. Like let's just call it what it is. There was a fight of who's the head honcho in Boston. Jaylen Brown felt like he was the best guy, and honestly, he kind of proved it if we're being real in the playoffs.
That's true.
I
mean,
the playoffs, he was the guy showing up, and
exactly.
the Eastern Conference MVP, Eastern Conference Finals. So I think he kind of proved he was the best guy, but I think the Celtics really wanted Jason Tatum to be that guy. If I'm being real, I think Tatum is more of a regular season guy, but Jaylen Brown's the playoff guy. But we'll see. I love Tatum's game, though. He can do everything. So he's got to get back into his bag, get back comfortable. He tore his Achilles. You know how hard that is to come back from. It's going to take 2 years, 2 full years to get back to his full self. So I think he'll come back and he'll be an all-NBA player again next year.
Yeah, I watched Tyrese Halliburton and Daniel Jones both tear their Achilles within
Danny
within 6 months of each other. So I know a little bit about a torn Achilles.
Indiana sports fans.
But I do. So yeah, I do have an honorable mention too that I just want to throw out there that I think is going to shock a lot of people this year too. I'm going to give some flowers this year to the Washington Wizards.
Hey, I was just about to say that.
Because I think that they're going to shock a lot of people with, when you have a roster consisting of Trae Young and Anthony Davis as the veterans, and then you've got some young guys like Alex Sarr and AJ Debance out the draft, they're going to be a good team this year. They're going to be a really good team this year. This is a team that I was almost considering that LeBron could go to just if he wanted to play with AD, and they would still be able to run for for the Eastern Conference Finals, like similarly to the 76ers, just because the young talent mixed with the veteran presence on that team, it's going to be really good.
They also got Chris Middleton. Do they still got Chris Middleton over there?
I think he's a free agent right now, so I don't think they re-signed him yet if they're going to.
I'm looking at their roster right now. Like, they have a good team. Trey Johnson.
Yeah, they got Keyshawn George, I believe, over there.
Yeah. They got a good team. I was just about to say that I'll have them as my honorable mention as well. If I had to choose a different team, though, I would say Miami, because Miami has really good defenders on their team. Very good positional defenders. Okay. And I think in the playoffs, that's what separates teams.
So we're talking
like everybody can
under
score
100. Like they're keeping teams under 100 type thing. Okay, yep. I gotcha. Because that's just they're going to be a slower team for sure this year, and they just don't have very many shooters. Like Tim Hardaway joining their team is definitely big for them, but the best shooter on their team besides him, maybe what was it going to be? Bam, Aaron Wiggins, or is it Aaron Wiggins?
Andrew Wiggins.
Sorry, yep, my apologies.
No, yeah, they're definitely lacking shooters, but good thing it's still the off season. They could go find a shooter somewhere.
That's true. They can get someone.
But like, just think about the people we named. Davion Mitchell is a great defender. Andrew Wiggins, a great defender. Like Bam and Giannis, we know what they are defensively. Like, if they can make noise, if they make noise in the playoffs, it's going to be because of their defense. Offensively, Giannis is going to get his just because he's a force. But like you said, the team is going to crunch down on him. They don't have any shooters around. So they got to figure out that piece. They're going to think they're going to go past the first round. They got to get some guys that can spread the floor, because Giannis and Bam are going to clog the middle of the floor all game.
Yeah.
So
as of now, you would take the Heat over the Pacers?
Yes.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
We can leave that alone. We can talk about that on another episode for sure. That's fine. I just can't wait till the season, man. I can't wait to revisit this in the season.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
I mean, it's either going to be you talking about the draft. That's what it's going to be.
That's crazy.
Talking about the 2027 draft. He's going to be, yeah, man, it's a great guy coming out of the college this year. I think the Pacers are going to go draft with the number 1 pick.
That's crazy. Thinking the Pacers are going to be that bad is insane. Looking at that roster, telling me that they're going to be.
You're banking on Tyrese Halliburton coming back like how he was.
I have so much faith in him. I have so much faith in Tyrese, man. So much faith in Tyrese. And that 2025 finals run that he took the Pacers on is going to go down as one of the best individual performance like playoff runs in sports history. That was crazy. And as a Pacers fan, we have to live for stuff like that because we're a small market. We can't bring in players like Jaylen Brown and LeBron James. LeBron sent 2 laughing faces to Tyrese, bro. Like, what are we supposed to do?
He doesn't even know where Indiana is on a map.
Exactly. That's the thing. So, but now we got a lot to talk about in the future for sure. Obviously, we've got a lot of NFL coming up there. Thanks everybody for watching us today, listening to us. If you're listening on Spotify, obviously this isn't like the intro podcast. This was kind of just a special podcast that we came out with because obviously it's big news, LeBron going to the 76ers. So we wanted to make sure to drop something there. But you got any closing remarks, Shep?
Nope, just make sure you guys like it. Leave a comment or something. Let us know where we can improve at or what you guys want to hear. We kind of want to make sure we're collabing with everybody in the community. The sports community is huge, so we want to make sure we're interacting with people that's watching us. We appreciate you guys for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, but all right, sounds good. I guess that's gonna be it for us today. Like you said, go ahead and subscribe to us, like it up. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll probably be posting every Tuesday. I think the intro is gonna be in just a couple weeks, so make sure that you keep an eye out, and we'll see you guys soon.